Now to get things going, I'd like to start off by covering some of the Flash basics so we know what we're doing in the software. We can take a little tour around the interface, and we'll get started by opening up the file that I have in the Lesson 1 folder. Now it's called Robot Lesson 1, and you'll notice it is a .fla extension, and that's going to be the master file format for the files we'll use in Flash. Our FLA file will contain everything that we've worked on, all of our controls for our animation, all of our elements that we've imported into the program into the library, and of course all the elements that we have on the stage. Now you might be used to the .swf extension. That's going to be our export format when we're finished creating our movie files, and that's what you'll be publishing out on the web. Now when you start up any new document in Flash, the first thing you're going to see is the stage, which is the white area that we have here in the middle. That'll be the same whether you're using the Start screen or whether you're using the File and the New pull-down menu up at the top. Now I've already started this file up and included one graphic on the stage, as you can see here. I've also set up some of the basic properties of our document, and that's a good place to get started for your files as well. In this case, I've changed the default stage size to this size of 600 by 400 pixels, and I've set the background color to white. Now as we look around the workspace, there's two basic areas I want to make sure we have a good feel for, and that is the Tools section over here on the left-hand side, and the panels, which are actually stretched around the right-hand side and the upper and lower portion of the screen. Now everything in the interface is configurable to your liking, so you can change settings. In fact, one of the settings I'm going to change from the default layout is I'm just going to click this little arrow up here at the top and reconfigure my tool palette so that it fits in the screen that I'm working on. It's also a good idea to go over the basic tools for manipulating your document, and the first tools that I want to take a look at are the Zoom tool and the Hand tool. The Zoom tool, I'm sure you've used one of these before. You can use it to zoom in on your drawing. If you click on a specific area, it'll zoom right in on the area you've selected. And if you hold down the Alt or Option keys, you can click to zoom out in the same manner. You can also click and drag to select an area and zoom that area up to fill the screen, as we've done here. Now we also get some feedback over on the right here as to the current stage size. Mine's showing 106%, and if you pull down this menu, you can choose a specific percentage to zoom in, or you can also choose a Show All, which zooms to fit the graphics you have on the screen, and a Fit in Window, which fits your stage into the current viewable window. Now, as I've mentioned, the white area is going to be referred to as our stage, and that's going to represent your screen size for your finished movie. Any of the gray area outside of the white we see here, we're going to refer to as the paste-up board, or you could even think of it as off-stage. Now, I'm just going to zoom in on our robot head here a little bit, and we'll try out one other tool that's going to help us move around the workspace, and that's the Hand tool. So if I just click on that, I can click with this tool and grab and move around the workspace. You can see that the entire stage is moving around with my selections right there. Now these tools you're going to be using a lot, so I'd like to also go over some nice keyboard shortcuts for these tools. Now for all the tool sets in the tool palette, if I hover over the tool, you'll notice that it shows the name of the tool, but it also shows a couple of keys from the keyboard. These keys you can directly use to switch your tool over. So as we could see from the hover, our magnify tool has an M key, and you can see, let me move my cursor over here, you can see that that switches it directly to the magnify tool, and the Hand tool has a hint that shows us the H key is going to switch over to it, so you can use the H key to switch directly to the Hand tool. Now I'm going to go off both of those tools because one other shortcut I like to use in the program is simply Control or Command minus and plus for the magnify tools. I can use the minus key to zoom out, the plus key to zoom in. And finally, easy access to the Hand tool you can get by using the space bar. Now this will work when you have any tool selected in the program except for the text tool. Now if you press the space bar down, you can see that my tool switched over to the Hand tool. I can use the Hand tool to pan around the document, and when I let go of the space bar, it switches right back to whichever tool you had previously selected. Now we also want to take a look at the panels. We've got a lot of panels over here on the right-hand side. We've got some along the bottom and the top, and actually we have an entire Windows pull-down menu full of panels. So we want to know how to interact with these and set them up as well. First of all, most of the panels are going to work in a very similar manner. If you click on the title bar or the top gray area of a panel, you can see that I can collapse it and then clicking again expands that panel. We can do that with all the different panels here, even this wide panel at the bottom of our interface. We can also move these panels around and arrange them to our liking. Now let me show this by going to the Windows menu, and let's pull up a panel that we don't have active. We can see little check marks by all the open panels, so let me open up the Align panel. Now each one of the panels can be detached and moved around the screen independently, but you can also grab the panel, and as you get close to the other panels in your interface, you'll notice that you can drag it and stack it amongst the other panels. I'm going to drop this Align panel right in between the color and the library panels. You can see that it adjusts to make room for the new panel, and it closes and opens just like the original ones did before. Now you'll notice some of the panels, like for instance up here in color and swatches, I've actually got two panels ganged together. I've got a swatch panel and a color panel that I can access by using the tab. We can stack any of the other panels up in this tab relationship that you'd like. In fact, let me open up a couple more panels that I think we'll be using during our lessons. For instance, the transform panel here. And if I grab it by the tab, I can just drop it in next to the Align panel, and now I've got that kind of tabbed relationship set up here as well. Another thing I'd like to point out for each one of these panels is that most of them have an option setting over on the right-hand side. This little line and arrow indicates that I can pull down a panel and get some additional information for each one. Now, some of them are very short, but some of them have additional switches in them. And if we take a look at the library panel, it actually has quite a few different options that we can use to control our library elements. Now once you've set up the panels the way you like them, you can also save that arrangement. That's available here in the Windows pull-down menu under Workspace. Also available here, right in the panel where you can see we've got access to the default workspace and also a save option. Now I'm going to click that right now, and we're going to save a layout for Flash Essentials. And we should be able to switch back to this workspace whenever we want to. You can use this feature to save several different workspace layouts and switch between them as you create your Flash files. I'll just switch here back to the default setting, which shows our original panel layouts, even the tall tool panel on the left-hand side, and we'll switch back to our new Flash Essentials workspace, and you can see that it saved all the different positions and arrangements of the panels as we set them up.